Town.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
And on sounds and at the website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. It is Celtic against Dundee under the spotlight on the pitch there. The players make their way onto the surface as Martin O'Neill, after all those years away, the 5 or 6 weeks that he spent back at the club, I'm sure will have gone by in a flash, but he will look back fondly on them. 6 wins out of 7. This is game 8 and his last. As Celtic confirmed within the last hour that Wilfred Nancy will take over from tomorrow. His first match will be that top of the table clash against Heart of Midlothian here on Sunday. But for now, there are another 3 points at stake, and Martin O'Neill's 291st game all told in the dugout as Celtic boss. And final one, we'll see him try and get the better of a Dundee team that got the better of them back in October in the dying embers of the Brendan Rodgers chapter. Those 2 goals, Carter Vickers' own goal followed Clark Robertson's opener, which saw Dundee beat the champions for the first time in 25 years. The same 25 years it's been since they won here at Celtic Park under Ivano Benetti. They are long odds to repeat that tonight, but you just never know. And Stephen Presley goes head-to-head with Martin O'Neill. It's Casper Schmeichel in goal for Celtic. It's the same team that started at Easter Road at the weekend. Donovan, Trusty, Scales and Sirachi, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, McCowan and Yang, and Maida. For Dundee, it's McCracken in goal. Wright, Robertson, Clark Robertson, that is, Luke Graham and Amari Samuels, with Danda, Finn Robertson and Ethan Hamilton across the middle, with Congreve and Wesley either side of Murray. 2 changes it is for the D from the side that beat St Mirren at the weekend. It's also 2 changes from the side that started the win over Celtic. Astley and Digby played that day. They don't start tonight. Danda and Finn Robertson in from that Celtic game, which is their only one in the last 47 meetings. They have beaten Scotland's current and multiple champions over the course of the last 13 years. Dundee kick off in the navy blue, right to left as we watch in the main stand behind Stephen Presley's away dugout. Celtic in the green and white hoops, and they will attack the Lisbon line stand end off to our right, the east end of the stadium, if you know it, as they tend to do in the first half of matches here, as Clark Robertson sends it forward into the Celtic half, but it's met by Donovan, who finds Hatate. The ref has spotted an arm, I think, using to control the ball. Perhaps McCowan, the former Dundee skipper, who's beginning to make a little home for himself on the right-hand side of the Celtic side. We had Brendan Rodgers lamenting his lack of options in that particular position, which was pretty much dominated by Nicolas Kuhn last season. As Dundee launch it forward over to the far side for them, it goes north stand side. Sirachi has it, finds Scales, he finds McGregor to Sirachi to Scales, and back to Casper Schmeichel. An emotional night, Packy, for Martin O'Neill, I'm sure, and for the Celtic supporters, who would not have been expecting the cameo that he's made when the season kicked off in August.
No, nobody expected even the impact that he has made since he's come back, and results don't lie. You know, I think him and Sean Maloney and Steve McManus and Mark Fotheringham, all of those now, you know, they've done something quite special, because the club was really struggling for a while. So yeah, he walked away with his head held high, and I think he'd be a relieved man also, because he did say that he was under pressure. I think his wife didn't want him to take it at times.
He said that, yeah.
He did, and so on, because you've built up you know, a history, you know, a credibility, and then suddenly you take on a job like that after all those years. It can go wrong, but he has shown that experience wins out today.
He said he wasn't worried about his legacy, but 6 wins in the 7 matches. It's testament to how well it has gone. The only blight was Midtjylland in the Europa League. Hatate drives into the Dundee box, left hand side. It's now Yang pulling it across. It's blocked from behind It goes for a goal kick only. It's good positive play by Yang Hyun-jun, who has had his troubles in a Celtic shirt but scored that crucial goal in Rotterdam last Thursday, and you can really see that he's somebody that has absolutely relished working under O'Neill.
Yeah, and in that situation there, he's picking up a more inside sort of left position that I've seen him, and he picks the ball up, opens up really quickly and drives forward, and that's confidence that allows him to do that.
It's funny how some managers can just give you that zest for life on the football pitch, and here's another, and Dyson Maida reclaiming some last season's form. He is a go, and McCracken wasn't sure as he dived down to look behind for a corner. What looked like a fairly tame effort in the end from Maida, but for whatever reason McCracken was a little bit concerned enough to get a touch onto it. The corner's been taken really quickly. It's with Engels from McCowan to the angle of the box for Donovan, back to McGregor, out wide right for Donovan on the underlap. It's going to be fired back across by Colby Donovan, the youngster. Dundee get a half away. McGregor rolling it to Sarachi, bursting into the box. Celtic look keen to make a fast start here. Trusty losing out on the far side to Congreve, who was brilliant against Celtic at Dens. That go over the line for a corner. Congreve, just poor touches, conceded a second corner in quick succession for the home team here. 3.5 goalless minutes in.
Yeah, and they've taken it quickly, Liam.
Again, as Engels picks up level with the Dundee penalty spot on the far side. Roll back to Hitati, looks at goal, he shoots wide, he got plenty behind it. McCracken seemed a little bit impervious to the danger that might have been causing there as Hitati whipped it for goal, but it goes past the left-hand side of the goal frame, and it will stay at 0-0. McCracken, the coolest man in the stadium there as that came towards him.
We'll give him the credit that he knew exactly that ball was going wide. The first one, I thought, I don't know whether he was out of position slightly, and he was stretching for it. There wasn't really a dynamic shot from Maeda, and he had to touch it wide. But yeah, a really fast start from Celtic, which we would probably expect. Dundee would expect also. Dundee under the cosh early on, obviously playing with a back four. They've got the three in midfield, the three up high, and they may, think about, what was the positives when they beat Celtic up in Dens Park. It was about playing direct, pace, quickness up front. Simon Murray, the young lad Congreve, really good. I'm not sure if they got enough of the ball tonight for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was down to the paucity of Celtic's performance on the day as well. They were really slow and cumbersome, but Dundee took full advantage of it to beat them for the first time in a quarter of a century. As the ball's played for Dundee, low out to Clark Robertson on this near side, forward to his namesake Finn on this left flank via Wesley.
Yeah, they're just knocking it about at the moment, trying to suck Celtic's midfield and front players forward, so it creates a little bit of space maybe higher up the pitch, and then they will go. But yeah, they're keeping the ball decently well at the moment with using the goalkeeper.
Huge win for them at the weekend against St Mirren. They really had to try and get the train back in the track, and it's not the ideal fixture to build upon that, I suppose, but Dundee trying to get a foothold in the match as it's played back to McCracken here, just outside the 6-yard box. They have the worst away record in the league, yet to win in the Premiership on the road this season, and it's a long ball from McCracken, goes all the way through to his opposite number, Schmeichel. The Scales is under pressure from the Dundee skipper Murray, who rolls it into the box. Schmeichel comes and gathers importantly, and I think might well have been a foul on Kasper Schmeichel for a late challenge anyway, albeit I don't think there's too much malice in the challenge from Wesley as he slid in.
He can actually drew out of it a little bit because he knew he wasn't getting the ball, but yeah, Liam Scales got caught a little bit, didn't realise that he was getting shut down and lost the ball. But that was again, a ball played forward by the goalkeeper after keeping good possession for a while, trying to suck Celtic forward, and then they have the three players up front: Simon Murray, Wesley and Congreve.
Long ball from Austin Trusty out to this near side, will be calmly headed back to his goalkeeper by Amari Samuels, and it's in the grasp of John McCracken. Played almost 7 goalless minutes here. I will keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere. We will hand to the guys at the grounds as soon as there's goals or red cards, I would imagine. We shall see how things progress as the evening goes on. It is Dundee in possession on the right with Luke Graham. Passes down the right, but is wayward with it. Looking for Congreve, goes out to play for a Celtic throw-in right on the halfway line. Marcelo Sarachi preferred to Kieran Tierney again tonight. Bowls it back to Liam Scales, who I'm sure Pat was absolutely delighted to see with a couple of assists in the recent international break for the Irish national side.
Yeah, it was an incredible night for us, you know, and we were a minute or so away from going out, and we end up with Liam touching that ball on for Parrott, Troy Parrott to score an incredible goal for us. And then of course Scotland outdoing us a night or so later, which was incredible, and delighted to see Scotland through. And of course if we could join them, we would be absolutely delighted also.
So Troy Parrott dinking a Panenka penalty over the bar for AZ against Twente the other day, and the Eredivisie's back to earth with a bump for him. But anyway, it's Trusty rolling it out to Colby Donovan on the near side, midway inside the Dundee half. He wins the throw-in off Finn Robertson. It will be McCowan to leave it for Donovan, who many felt was fortunate to avoid a red card at Easter Road on Sunday that could have changed the complexion of that one, as Celtic managed to scrape home 2-1 winners in the end. It's 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes from Maida and Engels, as they capitalise on a goalkeeping error, as they had done just a few days earlier in Rotterdam, albeit at Easter Road it was Hatate winning it off the goalkeeper and setting up Maida. It was the other way round in Rotterdam. Yeah,
Liam, you know, we talk about all the ability of players and tactics and strategy and you know, everything, but you need luck. You need luck in the game, and when you look back at the Scotland-Ireland game, luck comes into it a hell of a lot. Yes, ability and hard work and all them things are important, but if luck's missing and is gone from your team, then you don't win games.
McCracken, the edge of his box, long with the right foot, looking for Simon Murray, well defended by Trusty. He controls and finds Donovan and gets it back immediately. He just wasn't getting a look in under Brendan Rodgers. He has had injury problems, Austin Trusty, but he just didn't seem to be able to break into Rodgers' starting 11.
It's not very often you see 2 left-sided players playing in the centre of any team, not alone Celtic.
It's a long ball through for Maida, but it's just a bit too much on it. Comes right through via the toe of Luke Graham to McCracken, who plays it short and into the midfield when it's picked up by Ethan Hamilton, who turns it out to Samuels on this near side. I'll keep you up to date, as I said, with the other ones. No goals in the other 4 Premiership matches taking place this evening at Pittodrie, at Tannadice, the Falkirk Stadium and Tynecastle, with highlights of all these games to come on Sports Scene later this evening.
Yeah, Dundee have settled down after that sort of almost quick, energetic start from Celtic, and they were on the back foot, but they've kept the ball quite well in the last probably 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, it's been okay. Stephen Presley was the 2 efforts from Maida and Hatate early on, but they survived them pretty comfortably. And it's a Dundee throw in which Samuels will pull back to Clark Robertson. His left foot ball into the midfield. Murray comes deep to get onto it, but his ball goes straight to his former teammate McCowan, who finds Trusty, and now with Scales chipping it out to the left hand side for Sarachi. It's a good ball. Sarachi level with the Dundee 18-yard line back. Up the line for Yang, infield for McGregor. Now Hatate, first time Yang takes a great touch, blocked by McCracken, still alive and in! For Maida, who heads it into the net, and Celtic lead on Martin O'Neill's swan song. So Maida's taken a blow to the head in the act of scoring. Brilliant from Yang initially. It came off McCracken, and Maida rose to head it into the empty net, and it is Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, listen, when you're in the box, you've got to have anticipation, you've got to have bravery also, and you've got to get in there where it really hurts, and that was Maeda following up from a brilliant run from Yang. Beautiful pass, and when the goalkeeper makes a really good save and it goes up into the air, and there was Maeda to head it into the back of the net to give Celtic that 1 goal now.
Right, we'll digest that Celtic goal a little bit more shortly, but there's been a goal at Tannadice as well. Alan Preston, Dundee United Rangers.
It's gone to the home side. It's a brilliant goal. It's ball's played down the line by Stevenson, and you've got Sapsford. This is attacking again, United. Sapsford runs 50 yards, leaving Fernandes for dead for pace, and then you think, can he show a bit of composure? You bet he can. He dinks it over Butland as he goes to ground. 1-0 Dundee United.
Well, the one thing in a season of trouble that Rangers have been able to cling on to is their excellent away record domestically, but that's under early duress there. Dundee United 1, Rangers 0, and that going in just as Daisen Maeda, Paki Bonner, puts Celtic 1-0 up. The determination of Daisen Maeda to get in the end of that rebound, I'm not sure we were seeing that earlier in the season.
No, absolutely, and that's the difference, I think, since Martin took over, is that some of these players who maybe lost a little bit of maybe they were disappointed they didn't move on or whatever, maybe they were let down, and that, but a new man comes in, new staff, and they respond, and they've responded in the right way. But he looks as if he has to go off, and there is, I would say, there's a cut in the forehead, whether he needs stitches or whether he'll be able to return. But that was bravery, I've got to say, to get on the end of that. But the run also from Yang, from that inside sort of almost left position, and the pass was superb over the top. He takes it in a wonderful touch, and brings a save out of the goalkeeper to create the opportunity for Maeda to stick it away.
And Zach Sapsford with that Dundee United goal, is first since the end of October for the Dundee United attacker. That's his 6th goal of the season, as it was for Maeda here. He's gone up the tunnel to receive treatment to that head knock. We saw Arne Engels take a sore one in the act of scoring at Easter Road at the weekend. Well, Maeda similarly there, went in where it hurts, as Danda picks up for Dundee. He'll look to respond here as Dre Wright shifts it out to Congreve, midway inside the Celtic half. Doesn't get the better of Sarace though, who stood his ground and wins it back. The scales goes back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, that's Sarace. Listen, he's an energetic player, Uruguayan, and South Americans are that way, you know, when the defender been brought up that way, actually. But he's got a little bit of sharpened pace, and he's up against a lively player in Congreve who was really excellent up at Dens Park, and he's got that pace, so maybe that's why he's in the side tonight instead of Tierney, just because of that energy, and he can match Congreve.
It's one of the performances of the season, Cam Congreve against Celtic. But here come Dundee down the left, low ball into the box, not a great touch, and Schmeichel gets onto it. Well, it broke beautifully for Joe Wesley, but his touch has let him down there. He's just left of the penalty spot, shimmied onto his right, but he didn't catch it at all well, and it just dribbles back to Kasper Schmeichel. Yeah, and on 50 minutes, Celtic continue to lead 1-0.
Yeah, really good run from Samuels, the left back, in behind McCowan. I don't know where Donovan was at that point in time, but he got in behind McCowan and then cut it back to Wesley. And yeah, you're right, his touch, but what a good recovery from Callum McGregor, that defensive midfielder, to get in and get a tackle. Otherwise, I think it was going to be an effort on goal.
Now, Celtic leading. They'll need another couple of goals if Hearts were to draw against Kilmarnock tonight to usurp them at the top. Brian McLaughlin's watching that one at Tynecastle.
Yeah, 15.5 gone. It's one-way traffic towards the Kilmarnock goal, but still no breakthrough for Hearts. 2 minutes into the game though, Robbie Dees booked after a challenge on Kabore, and Kabore and Shanklin linked up for the best move of the game. Shanklin's shot though saved by the Killie keeper. 14 gone now here at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0.
As it stands in the table, both Hearts and Celtic on 32 points. Hearts goal difference plus 18, Celtic's plus 15. So no goals there, no goals between Aberdeen and St Mirren or Falkirk Motherwell. Celtic 1, Dundee 0 here, and Dundee United 1, Rangers 0 at Tannadice. Congreve for the D, back down the line to right, midway inside his own half, and he wins the throw-in off Yang and takes it quickly, but a dreadful attempt, and it'll go down as a foul throw, I would imagine, albeit, in fact, he's going to get a second bite at it. But Kasper Schmeichel's down at the edge of his own box there. I'm not sure what happened to the Dane, but he's sitting in the D just outside his penalty area, and the referee, Duncan Nicholson, who's taking charge of a match here for the first time, has had to stop play to allow treatment to the Celtic number 1.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see what happened. Obviously he's gone down, whether it's his ankle or his knee. I'm just looking at the physio coming on. I think it's his ankle. He's maybe twisted as he's played that ball, yeah, that'll be a bit of a concern so early in the match. But Sinisalo will be the one that would be on the bench that would go on. probably a lot of confidence in Sinisalo. He's one that I think will come into the team next year.
Well, problem for Schmeichel. Wait and see if we're going to have to call on Sinisalo, but concern clearly for Celtic, not just for tonight, but obviously some huge matches coming up. I mean, the next week after this one, the next week for Celtic is huge. They've got the visit of Hearts here on Sunday. They then got Roma to come here in the Europa League, and my goodness, they've breathed new life into their Europa League campaign thanks to that win in the Netherlands 6 nights ago. And then it's a small matter of the League Cup final package. Huge games coming up.
Big games, and huge for a new manager also, as we talked before this game kicked off earlier on, and there was a debate round whether you would leave Martin O'Neill in place or bring in the new manager. But for me, you've got to get him started. It's pressure at Celtic, no matter who you're playing and when you're playing. So get him in, get him used to it.
I think Celtic probably, as Kasper Schmeichel gets back on his feet and the game can restart. That's not a great back pass there by Hamilton to his keeper. McCracken is controlled pretty well.
Total confidence, Liam, in his goalkeeper. Even though it bounced up onto his chest.
You would have loved that back pass. There's Celtic picking up with McGregor, just stabbed Yang to the left, driving forward, but well defended by Trey Wright, who's become a full-back at kind of later point in his career, and he's doing well, having left St Johnstone last summer. I was going to say, you're probably for Celtic looking at 4 more points in the Europa League if they're going to make it through to the knockouts. So they've got Utrecht here, they'll fancy they get 3 there.
Yeah.
Now, where does the other one come from? Does it come from
Bologna.
Roma here or Bologna away?
Bologna away, I would anticipate. Now, Roma here will be an exceptional night, and you know, Celtic confidence is up again, and they're playing quite well. But Roma should be one of the top, and they are one of the top Italian teams.
Bologna are one of the top ones these days as well, though, aren't they? I mean, what do you do? I mean, you're at home against Roma, so we'll wait and see. That's next Thursday night. That's for another day, quite clearly. But so much to look forward to for the new manager, Wilfried Nancy, who'll start work tomorrow as Dundee pick up a throw in about level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box.
Yeah, just Maeda is still off the pitch, as we know. He's probably getting stitches, you know, but it's been quite a while now, so
yeah, I just wonder how long you leave that. Yeah. How long do you leave it before you say, listen, we're just going to have to make the change? We'll wait and see. But Celtic continue to play with 10 as Danda picks up just inside Celtic territory, right of the centre circle.
Yes, Hatate is sort of pushed kind of almost forward into that centre forward position, leaving then obviously Ingles and McGregor to deal with the midfield. They're keeping their back four intact, Yang on the left and McCowan on the right. So yeah, it's just obviously here he comes.
Yeah, he's coming back now. Maeda coming back on. He opened the scoring, well, the ball hit the net on 11 minutes. We've played 20 now, so perhaps 6 or 7 minutes of play, Celtic have been a man down. But Maeda with the headband on comes back onto the pitch, having had that stitched up a bit, and Sirachi's on it, and it scales, he rolls it back to Schmeichel. So it's a bonus for Celtic because they've just begun to get Maeda firing again. Yeah, he's enjoying his football again, that's for sure, and he's full energy and running power, and that's what makes him so potent. The chance for Yang to drive down the left-hand side. Sirachi in field. Instead he reverses it. Left of the box. Hatate at the byline. Delicate chip across, and Engels heads over. It might well have come off the top of his back there. I don't think he knew too much about it. In fact, it's come off a Dundee player last, as Engels looked to try and repeat what he did in Leith on Sunday. Stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0. But it is a Celtic corner right in front of the Dundee supporters off to our right.
Yeah, Wesley was, I think, tracked Ingles into the box, and it was kind of almost a 50-50, and Ingles got up above him, but as he's headed it, it's come off the back of his head and gone for a corner for Celtic. But a good ball again, good run down into that left-hand position from Hatate. Nice little chip across to the 6-yard box.
Out-swinging corner coming up then for Celtic from Arne Engels. Right-footed into the box it comes. It's flicked away. Only half clear. Hatate picks up left of the D. looks for an option in green and white and shifts it to Colby Donovan. Clips the right foot cross ball into the box, headed back across the 6-yard line. McCowan couldn't get there. Murray has misjudged the bounce, but he's done well to eventually work out where it is, and he sweeps it clear all the way into the Celtic half, where Schmeichel gets onto it and plays it short to Sirachi.
Yeah, he did the right thing. Clear your lines and then defend. There's a good run again. Celtic are getting in behind that Dundee back four. They obviously changed to a back four tonight. I think they went with a back five in the previous game. And they're just a little bit square, and the runs are coming from midfield.
There's been another goal at Tannadice. Last we heard, Dundee United led 1-0 through Sapsford. Alan Preston.
That's an equaliser by Magoma. There's a free kick played in by Raskin. It goes punched out. Barron volleys it, takes a deflection, goes back to Magoma from 25 yards. Left foot shot, top corner. Brilliant finish. 1-1 here at Tannadice.
And a piece there. 1-0 Celtic here. No goals in the other three. That goes out for a Celtic throw-in right on the halfway line on the north stand side. The Celtic left, and Sirachi bowls it back to Scales. He'll then turn it back to Schmeichel. He's showing no ill effects of that knock from earlier that required treatment.
Yeah, just look at Sam Murray there making a run, trying to close down Scales. He's up on his own, trying to run, close down Trusty. That's not easy. This is a big pitch. You just got to be a little bit careful that you don't run yourself out.
Hatate for Celtic, midway inside Dundee territory. Low ball to the edge of the box. McCowan taking it for a run. His pass out to Yang is cut out, and it breaks to McGregor, out to Sirachi, taking on Congreve, getting away from him, getting the ball in. It's a low effort. It's clear though. Important intervention there by Luke Graham, and then Murray goes down to the edge of his own box, and Dundee have a free kick, but Celtic have a lead.
Yeah, good play from Murray, because he was the player. The ball's come to him and he's well in his own half. Scales up against him, and he just used that little bit of experience. As soon as he got contact, went down and won the side a free kick. Just take the pressure off them.
Right, let's get updates from a couple of the matches that we've not heard from yet. Willie Miller watching Aberdeen St Mirren. How's that going at Pittodrie, Willie?
Yeah, Liam, it's been lively here. Both sets of players intent on getting forward early. Not much build-up, but the best chances falling to the home side. Topi Keskinen having a 23-yard drive that rattled the post. And from that, it went from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Cross came in. Auschitz was there. Should have put the header into the back of the net, straight at the goalkeeper. And then Kevin Nisbet had a volley from a corner, Stuart Armstrong corner, right-hand side, over the top of everybody. Kevin Nisbet, on the instep, put it past the post. St Mirren have had their opportunities as well. Mandron a shot blocked. Ayunga a shot blocked as well. It was not surprisingly Jack Milne on both occasions that made the interception. 0-0 here, but pretty lively game.
It's a fixture Aberdeen have had trouble with in recent seasons, albeit at that spectacular Lazetic goal saw them beat Saints in Paisley earlier in the campaign. So it's Willie was saying they're goalless. It's the same story between Hearts and Kilmarnock. Dundee United 1, Rangers 1. Sapsford for United. Magoma's first Rangers goal, making it 1-1. Celtic leading 1-0 here through Dyson Maida. And Ian McCall is watching the silky match of the night, Falkirk against Motherwell. Ian, how's it going? Is it living up to the billing?
Well, and it's very tactical. I mean, I have seen one thing. Callum Ward in the Motherwell goal in the first minute of the game had the ball about 3 yards from his own goal line and waited for the Falkirk striker to come into him and had a drawback. Oh, there's Aguiman nearly scored. The two best chances, Falkirk are trying to press the life out of Motherwell, and I think that's what Motherwell wants. Make me think Motherwell will get on top of the game, but Aguiman's had a couple of good chances. One he shot when he probably could have crossed, and one that he crossed when he probably could have shot. But it's a really interesting game. But again, not huge amounts of goalmouth action. It remains goalless.
Thanks, Ian. Right here at Parkhead, it is 1-0 to Celtic on 26 minutes, but Dundee have a free kick midway inside the Celtic half. Samuels flights it high into the box. Schmeichel punches it away. There's a flag up on the far side. Scales has gone to ground, and Celtic will have a free kick as he challenged with Clark Robertson. And Celtic's lead is intact. Pat Bonner.
Yeah, just in Schmeichel obviously picking up a position. He was almost 7 yards off his line for that free kick. I haven't seen that too often from him this season. but the ball's flighted in there and he comes and he punches and he takes scales out of it. But that's what I probably would like to see from a goalkeeper all the time, especially if it's a flighted ball like that. You should be able to deal with it.
Danda for Murray, and then nicks it back the way to Graham. Takes it striding forwards. Fabulous play by Luke Graham. Across the halfway line he goes, looking for a pass. He's found one in Danda out wide left. Jan Danda, Samuels in support. Danda with a cross ball in. Sarachi trying to deal with it at the back post, lets it come across his body behind for the goal kick. Took a little chance there.
He did.
But it's a fabulous ball in.
That was a great ball, a great stride, as you said, from Luke Graham, stepping out from the back, evading the tackle and then making a really good pass out left. And then the cross comes in, beautiful cross, nice height on it. Just Sarachi, I think he was aware of where the defender was, and he can almost let it through him, but he did take a chance. Maybe if, I'm not sure who was coming in on that sort of almost right hand side, but if he was a little bit quicker, he might have got in the end of it.
McCowan a little dink into the Dundee box, just a bit too much on it for Engels. He can only tow it behind for the Dundee goal kick. There's been many games we've done here, Packy, in recent years, as we hit 28 minutes with Celtic leading 1-0, where Celtic have had 75, 80%, perhaps even north of that by this point, sitting round about 53 right now. Dundee are seeing plenty of the ball, perhaps more than Stephen Presley would have imagined they would be almost on the half hour.
Yeah, they've settled down, they've got the ball at the back, they've used the goalkeeper, they've knocked it around a little bit. Celtic just stepped off them a wee bit to allow them to do that, and that's obviously put their average up from a passing perspective. Here they go again, back to the goalkeeper, centre half split, midfielder, and then they go long when they can, and trying to put a little bit of pressure off, this time offside.
Yeah, from that long McCracken ball. Dundee showed a bit of resilience at the weekend. It's been missing for much of the season. Just the second time they've come from a goal down in a match. They went on to win it, beating St Mirren 3-1 at Dens. Another game there to come at the weekend with Aberdeen, the visitors, as Celtic come forward down the left of the Dundee box with Callum McGregor. His opposite captain, Murray on the slide, can't get there. It's back to Hitati, to the edge of the box for Maida, lays it to Hitati. Left hand side of the area, chips it across, McCracken gets a touch, breaks the Donovan at the byline on the other side of the goal. Stabbed half clear there by Wesley. Trusty finds McGregor. The Celtic fans asked it to shoot. He's managed to find Hitati, left hand side. It's Yang across, but he can only maybe come off the outside of the post and behind for the goal kick. It will stay Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, listen, Celtic getting decent possession around the edge of the box, and it was Ethan Hamilton this time that came out. It was just looking to see, was Colin McGregor going to get a shot away from that beautiful position that he picks up, just cutting in on his left foot, but Ethan Hamilton came out, forced him to pass it wide, but then another really good run from Yang, playing almost in that inside left position I've already described, and a real threat, not been picked up at times, and that's a problem for Dundee.
Celtic on the ball over on the far side. Yang back to McGregor under pressure. He finds Sarachi, who will square it to Scales, and he will do likewise to find Trusty. Along the grass it goes. Trusty up to this right side for McCowan, who passes it back to Trusty, who will find Scales. Luke McCowan, one of many who've departed Dundee over the course of the last 14 months. Big first team players, Nicolai Cameron, Josh Mulligan, Mo Sila, plenty others. Tiffany, first choices, a lot of them, and all gone. But here comes Celtic. It's Hitati into the box, and then Clark Robertson with a header. Then Danda's caught by Hitati at the edge of the Dundee penalty area, and that will be a free kick to the visitors, who continue to trail the champions by 1-0.
Yeah, listen, Celtic have got that 1-2 touch ability around the box, but it's the third man running tonight that is causing a few problems for Dundee, and they have to be matched. Either centre halves have got to see him coming, or somebody has got to track the midfielders. I talked about Yang already. This time I think it might have been McCowan that was trying to run through, and you have to make sure that you see people and deal with it. Otherwise, that space, Celtic have got the ability to penetrate.
Long ball from McCracken, taken down by Congreve on the far side. One back though by Yang, who knocks it in field to Engels, to McGregor, now Scales to Trusty. Takes it up to the midway point of his own half and shifts it to the right for Donovan. There was a little spell there where Anthony Ralston was getting into the side, but It kind of looks right now with Alistair Johnston out long term as though the position's Donovan's if he wants it. He can continue to perform at the high level. Sarachi on the other side finds Hatate, won back well by Dre Wright. It's not a great ball into defence. Yang has it now. It's with Maida. Maida under pressure, dark blue shirts all around him, and it's dinked away by Luke Graham. And Celtic will come again as it breaks Austin Trusty's way on this near side and out onto the touchline for the aforementioned Donovan, who's been unable to keep it in play. Dundee throw in 1-0 Celtic, 32 on the clock.
Yeah, the thing about Donovan, he's young and he's learning. He'll gain experience. He's got the ability. He's got the range. He's a big, tall, rangy boy. He can pass and that. But the more he plays, the more game time, the more decisions will go his way, and he will improve with experience. Getting into the team is a key for him.
Celtic 1, Dundee 0. Dundee United 1, Rangers 1. Hearts goalless with Kilmarnock as Celtic pick up on the left. It's Sarachi, comes under McCracken, squirms towards the back post, and McCowan can't get there. And Danda will try and take it away. He's giving it straight to Donovan though. Donovan into the box he goes. Then it's Yang who's a swipe at it. It's blocked, and McCowan has put it behind for the goal kick. It's clearly going behind for the corner. I'm not sure what was going on in Luke McCowan's head, but he's come off in behind for the goal kick. He's kind of thought, I'm going to control this, and then he's realised, oh wait a minute, it would have been a corner. Goal kick it is. So goalless at Tynecastle as it is at Pittodrie and the Falkirk Stadium. Packy Bora.
Yeah, listen, you've described it well there, Liam. He's seen that there was a couple of chances on goal. Obviously the ball goes through McCracken and it was cleared almost off the line, and he said, I can control this and maybe keep that pressure on, and he made the wrong decision. But no, again, it's so important for Dundee that they don't lose another goal at this stage of the game, and then it becomes really difficult for them. Stay in the game now for as long as you can, and you might get something out of it, but if you lose a second goal, then it's going to be very, very difficult. And Celtic, just real energy, I've got to say.
It's out on this left-hand side with Samuels. Low ball forwards cut out by Donovan. He was looking for Danda in behind the right back. It's a poor ball by Donovan looking for Maida. They weren't on the same page there. As Samuels plays it straight out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. We are heading towards the final 11 minutes of the opening 45. There will be time added. There's been injuries in particular to Maida and to Schmeichel. So I guess for Stephen Presley, his team aren't threatening Kasper Schmeichel's goalie. Priority for him will be getting in at the break, just one behind. If they can't force the issue themselves, cannot afford to go down again. Celtic haven't lost a domestic game when scoring the first goal in a decade, since they lost 2-1 to a Louis Moult inspired Motherwell. After near beaten had given Celtic the lead, Moult scored a double, Motherwell won. Whenever Celtic have scored the first goal in a domestic match since then, they have not been beaten. As Yang picks up on the left and finds Hatate at close quarters. Into the middle for McGregor and to Donovan. Back short ball in field to McGregor, to the edge of the box for Maida, who's coming back from an offside position. And Dundee will have a free kick. 10 to the break.
Yeah, but that run again from Ingles has just dragged one of the centre halves across and made it. Just, yes, he was in an offside position, but he had the ability, if he was level, he came off space to turn and maybe have a strike and goal. But just a running off the ball is creating a few problems because they've gone with the two centre halves tonight.
Long ball from McCracken. Underneath it is Scales. His header finds Yang, back to Sarachi. Blooters it into the north stand on the far side.
Lovely word, Liam. Blootered it. Yeah.
There are other uses of that particular word as well. I'm not sure why that was the one that sprung to mind, but anyway, it did. As Clark Robertson picks up the loose ball, it's beyond the midway point of his own half. He squares it to Graham. And he gives it back to Clark Robertson. Short ball to Samuels on the near side. To Clark Robertson again. He scored his first ever league goal in Scotland against Celtic in that win in October. He then repeated the trick against Falkirk. As Danda picks up on this near side for Dundee, rolls it back to Clark Robertson. He finds Danda looking for Samuels. Donovan's onto it. Now it's with McCowan at the edge of the penalty area. His efforts blocked importantly there by Hamilton as it breaks to Scales. Plays it to his left. Yang is in a central position, And then out it comes to Engels on this near side. Short ball back to Callum McGregor. Then to Hatate, back to his captain. McGregor looks up, long, arching, left foot ball, left hand side of the box, and then lashed over the bar by Yang, who got on to Sirachi's knockdown with the head. Over the bar it went, and it stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
There's that same position, Sirachi, the one that's wider, well forward when the ball's on this right hand side. There was a good pick out from McGregor, and that was Yang coming in that sort of inside left channel. But this time when the ball comes to him, he says, I'm going to take this on, but he just caught it all wrong, and it was miles over the crossbar. But he had the space, he could have taken it down and had another effort on goal, but chose to try the volley.
Well, Martin Dowden, our pitchside reporter, has just shown me a still of Dyson Maida's face, and his right eye is swollen right up. He's taken a real bang to that.
Yeah, he'll get the ice pack on it, half time.
And Simon Murray for Dundee, wide on the right, 7 minutes to half time. It's a good recovery challenge by Yang to win it back off the Dundee skipper. As that goes out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Clark Robertson appears to have gone down injured, so he too is going to receive some treatment. So there's going to be a good few minutes added on at the end of the first half here. The Celtic leading Dundee by 1-0. A reminder of the scorelines elsewhere. Dundee United 1, Rangers 1. Sapsford opening the scoring for the hosts before Meghoma equalised. That Maida goal here, the only other one in the Premiership tonight. Goalless at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and St Mirren. At the Falkirk Stadium, Falkirk, Motherwell and Hearts, Kilmarnock at Tynecastle. As it stands, the scoreline for Celtic not enough to take them to the top of the table tonight if Hearts were to drop a couple of points. But it is...
But it would be a psychological blow to Hearts, and
absolutely.
For Celtic the opposite. You know, and that's how the game goes. I love these nights when everybody's playing, Liam. You know, you never know until the last sort of probably 10 minutes, and it could get very exciting. And both grounds. Dundee's still in this game at 1-0, and you know this is an injury blow to them now if Clark Robertson has to go off here.
It would be. He's one of the real experienced campaigners. I believe St Mirren had the ball in the net at Pittodrie, but it was ruled out for a foul on the goalkeeper Mitov. And Willie's watching that one. Maybe get an update from the guys before we hit the half-time marks across the country this evening. Reminder, Dundee United Rangers continues on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and on 810 medium wave online coverage of that and this one clearly, and the game at Tynecastle between Hearts and Kilmarnock. That's the one on medium wave and extra. Dundee United Rangers online only. Packy.
Yeah, this looks like Ashley's going to come on here for Clark Robertson. They'll have to still go with their back four, I would assume now, but Ashley would have been the one that would have played last week and maybe went to a back three, but that has gone from him now, so he just slots in to Clark Robertson's position.
Yeah, at least they've got that as an option. It's a like for like change. Ashley comes on and it doesn't alter the shape of the team.
No, I just think that Ashley play on the right and maybe Graham will play over on the left hand side of that double centre half.
Right, we're in the final 5 minutes of the 45. Dundee forced into that change as Hatate knocks it off Congreve and out for a Celtic throw-in midway inside their own half, which Sirachi takes quickly and gets it back to Kasper Schmeichel, looking for his latest clean sheet. He's managed 9 so far this season, looking to get into double figures tonight. As Trusty picks up and rolls it back to Schmeichel.
Yeah, Celtic would have been hoping that maybe, you know, for all the play they've had, and they might have got that second goal just to give them a little bit of comfort here, but they haven't. And Dundee desperate to get in probably at half time. It's 41 minutes gone. There will be some added time. That was a good ball.
Yeah, it was a great ball there into the feet of Hatate. It's cut out though, and it's picked up on the far side. There's going to be a free kick to Dundee with a foul on Finn Robertson over there. So Dundee free kick just at the cusp of the edge of their defensive third. It's played to the edge of the box for Graham, who will turn it to Astley, who will then shift it out to right. And back to the Welshman, Ryan Astley, who's just on. McCracken playing it short to Luke Graham. Sidesteps away from Maida. And back to Astley at the edge of his own box. Takes it for a walk and rolls it out to right. Low ball, back to Astley, goes back to McCracken.
Yeah, and this is a long ball again from the goalkeeper. It's cut out.
Celtic clearly the dominant team, and Dundee aren't threatening, but they've not blown the visitors away at any point, have they really?
No, and again, you know, Dundee obviously survived some moments, but they've shown good composure at the back. They've played quite well from that perspective.
It's one for Murray to chase. He gives nothing up, and Schmeichel has to run out of his box and turns it out into the north stand on the far side. And now there's another stoppage because Celtic have a man rubbing the back of his head on the far side.
Yeah, but you're right about Simon Murray, though.
It's a tatty.
Honestly, he played the ball, he ran after, he ran 40 yards when nobody else was reacting to the ball and forcing then Celtic to play it long and out of play. But Hatate, I don't know what happened to me.
It's Sarachi. It is who's down. Hatate was crouching down beside him, but it is Sarachi, I think, who's got the head problem. Celtic leading 1-0, but the latest in a line of stoppages in this first half at Celtic Park. And it looks as though the Uruguay international is going to be okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether Simon Murray caught him as he was running past him and maybe accidentally, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to have to take him off. Tierney's going to come on and replace him. So just after Dundee had to make a change because of injury, Celtic have to do likewise, and Kieran Tierney comes on.
I don't know what happens to Rachi. I'm not sure if I'm saying Simon Murray. I just thought that maybe he caught him, but it must have been maybe from an earlier clash, and he's kind of almost feeling the effects of it, and that's why he's gone off.
Yeah, he's rubbing the back of his head, isn't he? So they're taking no chances with him, and in fairness, it's not the worst replacement, is it?
It's not the worst, but listen, I did say about Sarachi being in there mainly because Congreve is a really quick, sharp player. If Dundee get a bit of the ball.
First time ball down, they're looking for Murray. Scales it short with a back pass, and Murray hits the bar. What a chance it was for the leveller. Dundee continue. Congreve, right hand side of the box, deflected, and Schmeichel palms it behind for the corner. The flag's gone up anyway. There is an offside in amongst all that. But my goodness, Liam Scales was so short with the ball back to Schmeichel. Murray was onto it like a whippet, and he knocks it off the top of Schmeichel's bar. It stays though. Celtic 1, Dundee 0 in the 45th minute.
Yeah, listen, you've got to be sure in there between the goalkeeper and the centre half, and Scales, you know, put his head on it to head it back. But again, that experience of Simon Murray, and you said earlier, Liam, he gives nothing up, and he read it absolutely brilliantly. Got in and just clipped it over Schmeichel off the crossbar. Huge chance for Dundee.
If you look up the word tenacity in the dictionary, it says Simon Murray beside it. 5 minutes added, we're into the first of them.
And he's done it all his career, hasn't he? And that's why I think managers like to have that type of player in the team, you know, and especially if you come to a place like Celtic, when you've got a player like that up front, you always have a chance, and he works so hard for the team.
And he so very nearly got his reward there, the Dundee captain. Half-time at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0. As it stands, Celtic going level on points with the league leaders, who were 8 clear at one point. Here's McGregor to Hatate, his back to goal. He's out-muscled there by 2 dark blue jerseys, but they've won it back there. As the ball from Yang fails to find Maida, Congreve wins it on the far side, gets it back from Finn Robertson, steps away from Callum McGregor. Congreve driving forward, wins the throw-in off Yang. Half-time at the Falkirk Stadium, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0. The half-time whistle's beginning to go across the 5 Premiership matches taking place this evening. We played one of the 5 minutes of stoppages at the end of the first half in this one, which remains Celtic 1, Dundee 0. But Dundee so close to an equaliser.
And I didn't mention the follow-up actually from Congreve, forcing Schmeichel into a good save, a really good save.
Yeah, it's a deflection, could easily have outfoxed the keeper on that occasion. Schmeichel with his wits about him. As Scales picks up left of the centre circle and rolls it to the right of it for Trusty. Then out to Donovan on this near side. Chip ball over the head of Samuels. McCowan's after it, driving right hand side of the box. Well defended though by Luke Graham. Samuels emerges with it, finds Danda. It's all very tight down here in this near side. Wesley trying to desperately to get it clear, and eventually he wins the throw off McCowan. Dundee throwing level with their own 6-yard line on this near side. Yeah. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
It's the one position that Celtic have failed to get somebody into the club that can play on the right hand side. They've tried Negrin out there, who's not a winger. They've obviously Forrest is getting a little older, and I don't think he's even on the bench today. Is he injured? And that's a position that they have to go and find a solution to. McCowan's out there. He's not really a winger. Also likes to drift inside.
Yeah, they desperately need that injection on this right hand side, don't they? As Scales picks up, it's a loopy ball. Look at Tierney, it's going over the head there as he pitched it out to that far side. It sails over Tierney's head, and that will be a throw in. It is half time at Pittodrie. It is Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0.
Not Liam Scales' best night tonight in the first half. I've got to say, a couple of passes, that header back, yeah, he's been so consistent all season, and last season too, but tonight's just off it a little bit.
Yeah, and he got away with that short pass back to Schmeichel. It was a kind of header back to Schmeichel, which Murray latched onto. I'm not sure if the goalkeeper got a touch to it, Pat, but it certainly came crashing off the bar as McCowan gets it from Trusty on the near side. We've now played 3.5 of the 5 that were added, and it Scales over on the far side to Tierney. Tierney down the line, left hand side of the box. Tati chases it. Will he get there to the byline? He does. He chips it across, and it's put behind for the corner by Samuels. Desperate for a big striker to stick the head on that, put it into the empty net. It stays 1-0, but Dundee haven't escaped yet. Celtic take the quick corner. Donovan to McCowan, now to McGregor, to Engels on the right, looking for Donovan. He's got time to pick out a pass here into the box. It comes headed away by Graham, and then lashed clear by Jan Danda all the way through to Schmeichel.
Yeah, you were right there. Maybe a big centre forward, or normally in the old days it was always 2 strikers, one going to the near post, one going to the back post.
Tati at the edge of the box, rolls it into the area low, looking for Maida. It's cut out by Astley. Now it's McGregor, short to Hitati, forward to Yang at the edge of the area, looking for space to shoot. It is Yang, but he delayed, and Danda gets onto it, but he gives it away now. And it's Arne Engels, back to McGregor. Dundee trying to get in the break, just the one down here, closing seconds of the first half. Engels to McGregor, square to Trusty, to his left is Scales. Everyone bar Schmeichel is ensconced in the Dundee half. Here's Donovan to Engels at the edge of the box. His ball in, takes a deflection and comes right through to McCracken, though the Celtic fans claiming him off an arm. And it's back in the hands of John McCracken. And I think that will be that. Indeed, there is the half-time whistle. Celtic with the lead. Daisen Maida 6th of the season on the rebound from Yang, but Dundee so close to an equaliser as we ebb towards half-time. Scales was short with the ball back to Schmeichel. Murray was onto it quickly, and he clipped it towards goal. Over Schmeichel it went. It bounced off the crossbar. On the rebound, Congreve's deflected effort was saved by the Danish keeper, and that means at half-time, under the lights at Celtic Park, as it stands, Celtic going level on points with the league leaders' Hearts. It is Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
With Scottish football flying high on the world stage, 3 teams are on the hunt for European glory.
In on the right foot, brilliant shot, brilliant goal!
Sports Sound brings you live commentary from the Europa League as Rangers take on Ferencvaros.
JD Gassama to spark Rangers into life.
And Celtic host Roma. Plus live coverage of the Conference League as the Dons take on Strasbourg at Pittodrie.
Aberdeen right back into this.
European football on Sports Sound, where Europe comes to play. Thursday 11th of December. Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
So that is a week tomorrow, the live European action. This evening it is live Premiership action from right across the country. Half times: Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 0, Celtic 1, Dundee 1, Dundee United 1, Celtic 1, Dundee 0, Dundee United 1, Rangers 1, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0, and Heart of Midlothian 0, Kilmarnock 0. Let's start with the game at Tannadice then. Dundee United against Rangers, being watched by our commentary team of Billy Dodds and Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely brilliant watch, Richard, it really has, and two absolutely fantastic goals, one for either side. The first from Zach Sapsford after 11 minutes for Dundee United, who managed to take the lead for the first time in 9 league games, and it was a beauty. He got played in on the right hand side, on the far side by Lucas Stevenson, and he just turned off the afterburners, surged all the way into the box. I have to say, Emmanuel Fernandez was jogging slightly. He perhaps could have put in more of a shift to try and get back, but Sapsford took full advantage, raced into the box and clips it over Butland's into the far corner, and United at that point had their tails up. They could have gone 2 up. Stevenson again down the right hand side with a great cross for Nikolai Muller, but his header just drifted wide of the post. But Rangers, I have to say, despite that, have played a lot better than they did on Saturday. There's been a lot more movement, a lot more urgency, and they did create chances. One, Miofsky forced a save from Richards inside the penalty area just before Jayden Magoma found a brilliant equaliser. It's his first Rangers goal, and he probably won't score a better one. He's nearly 30 yards out on the left foot, and he just lasers it into the far corner to draw Rangers level. And Billy Dodds, it's been a fascinating watch, and you've been describing the kind of tactical battle that's going on.
I mean, two contrasting styles. That first 45 minutes has absolutely flown past Thomas. Loads of chances, but Rangers with a style of play tonight where it's forward passing so quickly. If the striker drops in, they've got midfield runners going beyond. It's been electric from them. They've pinned United back for long spells, but my word, the other side to the story is the way United have broken and counter-attacked them. They have been so dangerous. Their direct play, I mean, just switches of play, getting it wide up to the striker and hitting Rangers in the break, because they are playing so many people forward. Rangers, it's leaving them vulnerable at the back, and that's why Satford scored a brilliant goal, just direct and left Fernandez for dead. Dinked the goalkeeper, brilliant finish, and then Magoma bettered it with his strike. But all in all, a first 45 minutes, and you said the word fascinating. It has been absolutely brilliant to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, Richard. I think there'll be more goals in this one, but maybe that's the famous commentator's curse. Half time, Dundee United 1, Rangers 1.
Live second half commentary online, bbc.co.uk/sports Scotland. Radio Scotland Extra 810 medium wave, the place for the match at Tynecastle. Heart of Midlothian against Kilmarnock with Ryan Stevenson and Cerdine Idsan.
No goals here, and maybe not the match that we were necessarily expecting, but Kilmarnock will be absolutely delighted with the way things have panned out here, maybe with one notable exception. They might well feel that they should be ahead. What a chance James Brown missed about 7 minutes before the break. Greg Kilty's shot was well saved by Alexander Shvolov, and it popped back to the advancing right wing back, and instead of stabbing it towards the top corner, he watched in agony as it went just beyond that. Wonderful chance for Kilmarnock, who up until that point had been really well organised, superb shape, defensively strong, disciplined, and had really coped pretty admirably with everything that Hearts had thrown at them. Lots of possession for Hearts, 70% of it. They had 24 touches in the Kilmarnock box, but in terms of shots on target, just the one from Hearts, and the one kind of glaring chance that they missed fell to Pierre Landry Kabori, and it was a ball that came across. The goalkeeper completely missed it, Oluwayemi, and I think it just caught Kabori by surprise. He couldn't get his feet sorted out, because if he could have, he would have had a tap into an empty net. So both sides might well feel that they should have scored and could and should be ahead, but it's 0-0 here at Tynecastle.
Cerdine, thank you very much indeed. Let's find out about the game at Pittodrie. Aberdeen St Mirren from Willie Miller.
Yeah, enterprising and energetic, I would suggest, from both sides, but Aberdeen certainly have had the better of it. It's the best I've seen them play for quite some time, particularly in the attack in the last day, the final third of the pitch. Armstrong has been elegant, just glides across the ground. Keskinen has been productive, very direct, and even Kevin Nisbet has been looking more like himself. First chance came to Keskinen about 23 yards out after some delightful play down the left hand side, some slick passing, and Keskinen gets a head up. Doesn't normally do that, but he did in this occasion. He's so unlucky to see it coming off the far post, but the chance wasn't over. It fell to Loban in the right hand side, and he crossed one into the box. And how it was missed, how the header was missed by Auchiche, I don't know. I think he maybe saw it late and he just reacted to it right into the arms of the goalkeeper. When he put it either side, he's only 6 yards out, he's got to score. So great chance for Aberdeen. Kevin Nisbet had a volley from a corner. Stuart Armstrong looked like it was off the training field, but it was an unusual one. High looping cross to the back post. Kevin Nisbet taking it on the volley, and just seeing it whiz by the far post. Listen, St Mirren were always a threat. Mandron had a shot that was blocked. Jack Milne has been great at the heart of the defence again, always seems to be able to read it. Let himself down, one occasion will come to that shortly, and he blocked another one from Ayunga, but then we had Kevin Nisbet missed the chance of the game. Surely it's a lovely cross from the right hand side. Loban it was that crossed it to him. It's so difficult. He's going towards the back post, but you think he's got to get in target. In fact, he's got to score. He somehow manages it to play it back the park, which is incredible for someone of his quality. At the other end, Tanser did have the ball in the back of the net, but it looked as though it was a free kick on Mitov. It was the high looping ball from a corner. I think it barged into him. Certainly looked like that in the replay, although they did check it, and Tanser had finished it, but it wasn't given. And then Mandron had a great opportunity. And this is the thing that Jack Milne's got to learn, is that when your centre half goes up with a big tall centre half in front of you, make sure you take care of the other centre forward. And he didn't. He watched the ball, and the Mandron was in. He was too powerful with the shot. It was more direct than precise, and Mitov saved it. It has been a very good first half, very good 45 minutes. Best I've seen Aberdeen play for a while. And St Mirren were not far behind them, but unfortunately for me, as I predicted, Richard, 0-0 at half time.
Well, I'm glad you've had the excitement, albeit not the goals you were, I was going to say hoping for. You weren't even hoping for them, let's be honest. 0-0 at half time there. If you want to hear the second half live from Tannadice, Dundee United against Rangers, that will be live now online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland with Billy Dodds and Thomas Duncan. So at half time at the Falkirk Stadium, where Motherwell are the visitors, and the game being watched by Ian McCall.
Hi Richard, and that's Motherwell just coming out for the second half. I mean, I gave it a big build-up. I've got to say it was quite a fascinating game, but the lack of the action in both boxes wasn't great. Aguiman has been a real threat for the home side for Falkirk. He probably should have scored after 3 minutes. He was played through. You know, he had a chance to cross it for Samuel Ogunsuya in the box, but he took on the shot, just missed the target. Again, 18 minutes, he got another chance and he crossed it. Samuel Ogunsuya got on it and just couldn't get his shot on target. Motherwell, I mean, they've done well. They've played okay at times. They're trying to break through the very high and very aggressive press from Falkirk. But the best they've had is the left back Longello, a kind of solo run down the left hand side. I think that's been a feature of his play this season. And he got in behind the Falkirk rearguard, but couldn't manage to get his striking target, just had it in the side net. And so, you know, not a lot of goalmouth action. Still 0-0, and we've just kicked off for the second half, Richard.
Right, Ian, thank you very much indeed. I mentioned the Dundee United Rangers game. Remember, you can also hear Hearts against Kilmarnock. That's live on 810 Medium Wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra, and full live commentary from Celtic Park, where they're Dundee are the visitors. You'll get that on BBC Sounds and on 92 to 95 FM.
The Scottish Premiership.
Live on Sports Sound.
Scottish football lives here.
On BBC Radio Scotland.
Hello, welcome back from Celtic Park. We're just waiting on the arrival of the two sets of players for the second 45. Celtic leading by that 0-0, scored by Daizen Maeda, taking his tally up to 6. And that will do his confidence the world of good, although it didn't give his left or do his right eye any good back. It's in an absolute shape right now.
Yeah, but he was brave. Listen, and if you're a striker, that's how you get your goals. That's how you get your tally up. You've got to be brave. You've got to anticipate things. You've got to get in there, make first contact, and he did. And defenders clashed into him, and obviously give him a right sore eye that he ended up probably getting stitches in there. But he was brave, get back on the pitch, but the game's not over. That's for sure. And you could see that big chance for Dundee late on in the game with a back pass header from Scales, didn't reach the goalkeeper, and suddenly Simon Murray, that guy who we said works, got in there and hit his ball over Schmeichel and hits the crossbar and comes back. And then of course Congreve had the shot that Schmeichel saved, so it could have been one at half time, which would be probably slightly against the run of play, but overall that's the way the game normally pan out here. Celtic just desperate for that second goal just to maybe calm things down a little bit, but it didn't come.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Simon Murray's 33 now, but he's still running around there like an 18-year-old. He just gives nothing up and doesn't give defenders an inch. And whilst he's on the pitch, Celtic have to be wary, but it will always give Dundee a chance to take something from this match. I mean, no mistake, they'd be absolutely delighted with a draw tonight. A draw would be an excellent result for them. I mean, a victory is outstanding, obviously, but a draw, they'd absolutely take that. If this game finishes 1-1, they've just got to try and somehow stay in the match without conceding again.
That's it. That's the key, and the second goal. There's two periods I always feel in the game, is that just before half-time, teams sort of kind of almost lose their concentration, whether it's down to fatigue or whatever, I don't know, but so many goals are scored just before half-time, and then when they come back out after half-time, just to get up to the rhythm of the game and flowing, and that's where Dundee will have to be really cautious now that they don't give anything away. And as long as they stay in this game up until the last maybe half hour, 20 minutes, they know that they've got a chance. Celtic will be desperate to kill the game off early. They have the players on the pitch that can do that. I don't know what the stats are now from a possession point of view. Dundee looked fairly composed in the back, kept the ball well, just didn't allow Celtic to get total control of the game.
Well, possession 64-36 in Celtic's favour after that first half. Just want a word about the Scottish Cup draw. Baggy Dundee, they never seem to get an easy time of it. They've got to go to Kilmarnock in the fourth round. Celtic drawing Auchinleck Talbot.
Well, let me tell you, I've got a cousin down in Cumnock, and she's married to an absolute ardent Auchinleck Talbot supporter. And
are they not meant to not get on?
No, I know that, absolutely.
Do they get on?
They don't get on, that's the point.
More like
but he's the football fan. And right away, as soon as the draw was made, I was actually abroad, but the phone was going, and he wanted to talk to me. I haven't spoken to me yet, but I will. So that's the beauty about the Scottish Cup, isn't it? The small minnow taking on the big team, isn't it?
I mean, the Chats Kilmarnock have offered Rugby Park, but I really hope it's at Beechwood. That will just be a proper cup tie, proper mismatch as well. Anyway, that's for next month. The here and the now is Martin O'Neill's final game as interim Celtic manager. Wilfred Nancy taking over tomorrow. The second half's about to kick off. Duncan Nicholson sounding the whistle for the first time. Celtic do so. No changes to either of the sides. Celtic on right to left, the green and white. Dundee in the navy blue, left to right towards the Lisbon line stand end. But there has been an early second half goal, and it has come in the match involving the league leaders, Hearts Kilmarnock. Brian McLaughlin.
And it's come for Hearts. Lawrence Shankland on target 3 minutes into the second half. The ball played through by Magnuson, missed by Kabore. Shankland ran through and then clipped the ball over the outstretched arms of Uliwami to give Hearts the lead. It's Harman Lothian 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Celtic looking for a second here, but the offside flag has gone up over on the far side. So Hearts just looking to keep Celtic at arm's length this evening with a victory. No matter what Celtic do here, a Hearts win would obviously keep them top of the pile before they come here on Sunday. But Lawrence Shanklin there, I think that's what, his 11th of the season in all competition, and he's now level with Motherwell's Maswinise at the top of the Premiership scoring chart. So Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0, an early second half breakthrough for the league leaders.
But that spiced this game up also, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's the beauty about having not a total full house tonight. Obviously Hibs have played Livingston, but in the main, all the big teams that's challenging up at the top are playing, and you know, just does add spice to it. And Celtic know that they have to get a result here tonight going into that game on Sunday.
Yeah, but for Killie, they haven't won since the 4th of October when they beat St Mirren at Rugby Park. That's just this continuation of a winless sequence stretched back 2 months now. Anyway, here at Celtic Park, 1-0 to Celtic still, 2 minutes into the second half. No further changes, I should say. I said no changes to the teams that finished the first half. Both were forced into alterations. Schmeichel in goal for Celtic, Donovan, Trusty, Scales and Tierney, who replaced Sarachi, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, McCowan, Yang and the goal scorer Maida. Dundee to bring Ashley on for Clark Robertson. In that first half, McCracken in goal, Wright, Ashley, Graham, Samuels, Danda, Robertson, Hamilton, Congreve, Wesley and Murray. And it is Dundee with Luke Graham turning it back to his keeper, John McCracken, off to our left. Martin O'Neill standing the right angle of his technical area, arms folded. Sean Maloney to his left. Maloney, I would imagine, he'll be going back to his day job here, his full-time job at Celtic. Martin O'Neill, assisted by one of his chief lieutenants back in the day. Stephen McManus was another. And Mark Fotheringham down there too.
Yeah, I just wonder who the manager will bring in alongside him. Will it be somebody that knows the Scottish League, or will it be somebody, again, they normally tend to go with somebody that they know well, that supports them?
Yeah, I don't think there's been any indication as yet for definite who else will make up the Celtic management team. That'll become apparent in the next few days as Martin O'Neill takes charge for the last time. It's McCowan over on the touchline, the north stand side, infield to Engels, goes back to Donovan and then into his own half for Trusty.
The one thing, sorry Liam, just on the new manager coming in, the one thing that Celtic really need to be transparent about is how the whole signing process is going to work going forward. That's for sure. For me, that is, if they're going to get over all the issues, they've got to ensure that people know exactly what's happening.
Celtic on the ball wide in the right there with McCowan, steps in field, shifts it midway side to Dundee half to Engels. Now it's Hatate. Now it's McCowan in the box, shoots, spilled by McCracken, and Maida puts it wide on the rebound. And it will stay Celtic 1, Dundee 0 on 49.
Yeah, big chance for Maida again, getting in there, centre forward position. Great little bit of play, interchanging of passes, and on that ball, I thought McCracken probably should have helped that round, maybe round the post. He kind of almost lets it come back off him into an area where anybody could stick it in the back of the net. Just Maida couldn't get good contact on it. I think he'd come onto his right foot and he's leaning left and he knocks it wide.
Long ball then from McCracken. It's out of play for a throw-in on this near side though to Celtic, just about level the edge of the centre circle in their own half, and it's Kieran Tierney who will bowl it back to Scales. And then to Schmeichel. Pulls it to his right for Trusty. And shifts it out to that right-hand side for Donovan. He skips in field and squares it to McGregor. McGregor then out to Tierney on this left-hand side. Hatate with a run ahead of him. That's where the pass goes. Hatate lays it back to Yang. Yang then rolls it to Hatate. Hatate now will be Yang to Tierney. His little back heel doesn't come off. Tierney's still got it. Chips it towards the back post area. It's headed away by Danda. Tried on the volley by Hatate. Doesn't catch it at all. He slips two and Dundee get away with it. But Celtic have it with Trusty. Out to McCowan on the right. Now McGregor takes a touch on the left. Goes for goal. It's well over the bar. And it will stay. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Nice little bit of play from Celtic. But energy in the passing, getting forward. And working the ball down this left hand side. When it does come to McGregor at the end, I think he was off balance. He tries the shot and the anticipation of the crowd, because we've seen that goal that he scored last week, and it was a wonderful strike again, and he's so potent in that position. But this time slightly off balance, gets it wrong.
Long from McCracken, one in the air by Trusty ahead of Wesley. Nodded forward there by Hamilton for Dundee, midway point of the Celtic half, but Yang gets onto it and heads it back to his keeper. And it's with Schmeichel, who bowls it to the right there for Trusty. And Trusty at walking pace plays it short to the edge of the centre circle for McGregor. And then Trusty out to the far side touchline, it goes for McCowan. Then back to Trusty. And Trusty has it here. He finds Scales. Scales across the halfway line. He's got Tierney out wide in the left, level with the edge of the D of the Dundee box. It is Kieran Tierney out to Yang, looking for Engels, but there's a wayward ball. Wesley's onto it. Dundee trying to play themselves out of trouble here, and Ethan Hamilton comes away with it, rolls it with the left foot out to Danda, over on the far side. Danda shows way too much of it there to Donovan, and Celtic get it back. It's now with Arne Engels. Engels has got Yang in field, left central position, under pressure from Congreve now. Yang then slips in the centre circle, no pressure though. And now it's with Scales, and Scales will play it to his right for Austin Trusty. And then it's played over to the right there for McCowan, reverse ball. Hatate right hand side pulls it across, it's looped back towards goal and behind for the corner. There is a penalty kick at Pittodrie. Willie Miller can tell us about it.
Yes, to St Mirren. It's Marcus Fraser that has been given the responsibility of taking it. A very doubtful penalty in my book. Canuster, it does hit his arm. Fraser takes it and scores. So St Mirren go 1-0 up here. You would have to see the replay, guys. Canuster's falling all over the place. It brushes his arm. The VAR takes an age to call the referee over to the screen, and then he takes quite some time to decide that it's a penalty kick, but it's been given, and it's 1-0 to St Mirren.
Marcus Fraser, formerly of this parish, of course. If St Mirren a lead, and if St Mirren can hold out, that's a huge win for them after their sequence of winless matches. Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1. So just the deadlock to be broken at the Falkirk Stadium. Goals everywhere else. It is Trusty squaring it to Scales. Celtic have it out with Tierney on this near side. Infield to Scales, and now with Trusty. 1-0 Celtic still, almost on 54. One on the far side there by McCowan, despite the best efforts of Samuels. A big switch of play for Yang. First time ball looking for Hatate. Wright gets in the way, plays it back to Astley, who clears. And it's with Scales for Celtic. Low ball out to Tierney on this near side. Down the line for Yang. Pokes it in field to Engels. Forward to Hatate. Bit of space here. Rolls it to Yang. Left hand side of the box. His low ball takes a touch and favours the goalkeeper as it squirms its way back to John McCracken. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, there's still a lot in this game. I'll tell you, it can go both ways. Dundee Celtic have a few opportunities there, I thought, to penetrate. You know, they got the ball, they selected to pass the ball, they could have just drove forward with it, the Hatate in that situation, and didn't give it back to Yang, who didn't really get a cross into the box. So just the rhythm's gone a little bit from Celtic, but Dundee know that the game's now gone into 54 minutes. They're still in this.
Long ball for Dundee, looking for Congreve. He sails over his head, they went out for a throw-in on this near side to Celtic. Let's get an update from Tannadice. Alan Preston watching Dundee United Rangers 1-1 last we heard, Al.
Still the same, Liam. Goal in the first half by Sapsford and an equaliser by Magoma. Rangers have hit the bar in the second half to nail an overhead kick. But in the first half it was all Rangers with the possession, Dundee United counter-attacking, but very much an even game in this second half. 1-1 still at Tannadice.
1-0 Celtic here. Hearts leading Kilmarnock 1-0. And as we just heard, St Mirren leading Aberdeen 1-0 at Pittodrie. Ian McCall's watching Falkirk Motherwell, the only game without a goal
It is, but I don't know how in this second half. I mean, Motherwell have come out of the traps absolutely flying. Masmanisi and Said had really good chances, but the closest they came was Lisa got himself in a tangle in his own box, and Scott Bain had to make a marvellous save to stop an own goal. We nearly had a great goal as well from Brad Spencer. He's had a free kick. He's probably about 50 yards out, and the goalie Ward has come out, to try and read the cross, to try and come and take the cross, and he's just pinged it, and we're right behind, and has just missed the far top corner. Falkirk have just made 4 substitutions, and I can't tell you who they are right now. The Miller's one of them, Brian's one of them. I'll get back to you with it, but they've made 4 substitutions at the one time. It's still 0-0 though, Liam.
As I said, the only game without a goal tonight in the Premiership. 5 matches. Hibs and Livingston idle tonight with their feet up at home. And the rest do battle. And it's Celtic on the ball here with McGregor rolling it to the right there for Donovan. Changes coming for both teams. There will be a Cumetio coming on for Dundee certainly, and we'll get the other changes in just a moment. But it is Celtic attacking down the right. The whistle goes though, and Dundee have the looks of things got themselves a free kick in the midfield, and here come the changes.
Finlay Robertson, I think, took Tati out off the ball, and that's why he's given the free kick. Changes are coming.
Ashley Hayes, the other player coming on for Dundee. Celtic change. We see Tenecti replace Yang. So, it's a triple change by Stephen Presley as he brings Cumetio, Hay and Jones into the fray. Mixing things up, and the players to come off looks like it will be Simon Murray. He's going to come off for Dundee, so he's obviously run his race as he passes on the captain's armband. It's gone to Finn Robertson. Cumetio comes on as Stephen Presley rings the changes for the visitors, and you'll hope that it is the desired effect. Jan Danda coming off as well, and Congreve has come off too, having starred against Celtic at Dens in October. Nothing happening for him tonight. 58 played, Celtic 1, Dundee 0. Tenecti on for Yang for Celtic, and that triple change by Stephen Presley, Pat.
Yeah, it looks as if they've gone to a back 5, which is interesting. They're obviously a goal down, and obviously I'm just looking at 5, and they've gone with, not sure who they've gone with. I'm looking at Ashley Hay up front on his own, not the biggest and strongest, maybe quick player.
Yeah, he's nippy. We'll see how he gets on. It's Tierney's ball into the Dundee box meantime, looking for Maida. It's not a great touch though. He was surrounded by defenders as the long ball comes forward. I think it bounced off Donovan's hand, and that will be a free kick to Dundee over on that far side. It is 1-0 to Celtic here. Remember, the highlights will be on Sports Scene this evening once the dust is settled on the 5 Premiership matches taking place this evening. The weekend action starts on the BBC Scotland channel with Morton Queen's Park in the Championship on Friday. That's also the day of the World Cup draw, and Sports Scene will be on earlier to provide reaction to that draw, with Scotland back in the finals for the first time since 1998. So lots to look forward to on Friday. And then on Saturday, Dundee, who are watching tonight, host Aberdeen, who are losing at home to St Mirren right now. And then Celtic host Hearts, top of the table clash. What an afternoon that is likely to be. And it will be the only game on Sunday. Let's find out how the league leaders are getting on. Last we heard, 1-0 up to Lawrence Shanklin against Kilmarnock. Brian.
That's still the case, and here's a chance for Hearts as well, but Kabori this time his shot blocked and cleared away by the Kilmarnock defence. Still 1-0 to Hearts. Liam, the goal coming for Lawrence Shanklin 4 minutes into the second half. Almost a second. Milne with a corner. Magnuson with a free header inside the box, back off the base of the post. Tynecastle is about to light up very shortly because Claudio Braga is about to take to the pitch. It's Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0.
There you go, Brian keeping us up to date with all matters at Tynecastle. Dundee United 1, Rangers 1, goalless Falkirk Motherwell, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1, Celtic 1, Dundee 0 here. And it is McGregor out to this left hand side for Tierney. Infield it comes for Engels. Engels stabs it to the right there for Donovan. into the box, roll back Engels, little back heel, Hatate, lovely touch, Hatate, brilliant save, McCracken, outstanding goalkeeping down low to his left. It's brilliant from Hatate as well though, as the little shimmy, the drop of the shoulder took out the defender, but the shot was brilliantly saved. It stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0, just beyond the hour mark.
Celtic's best chance in the second half. Lovely bit of play initially, nice little bit of passing around the edge of the box. It comes to Hatate, just as you say, drops the shoulder, drags it back, outfoxes his opponent, and then gets a shot away. But what a really good save, McCracken, down low to his left hand side to keep Dundee in this game.
Yeah, second goal you would feel would end it for Dundee, who have it here. It's Hamilton just knocking it back the way to Graham. He'll then turn it back to his keeper, and it's McCracken. Big switch, looking at trying to get it out to the left, and way too much on it for Samuels to deal with. It goes over his head and out for a throw-in over there to Celtic, which is bowled back to Trusty, and now with Scales. Scales with a low ball to Tierney on this left-hand side. Into the Dundee half. He's about midway point of it now as he goes back to Scales, who then finds Trusty. Left foot low ball along the grass to Donovan on the right. Donovan back to Trusty. There's been another goal. It's come at Tannadice, Alan Preston.
When it's gone to the home side, and it's a brilliant goal by Fata. United were piling on the pressure. They forced a corner, a great save by Butland. But then it breaks to 5, cuts inside 3 Rangers players, and from the edge of the box unleashes a right foot shot into the bottom corner. What a goal. Dundee United 2, Rangers 1.
United have their lead back. Here comes Celtic. Tierney out to Tenecti on the left against Dundee. Tenecti level with the penalty spot, rolls it back to Tierney at close quarters. Right foot cross comes in, cleared by Samuels, not decisive. Tierney volleys it into the path of Sebastian Tenecti down the left, level with the 6-yard line, steps back the way, driving into the box. Now he's at the 18-yard line. It's a wild effort, well past the right hand side of the goal frame, and on almost 63 it will stay Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, the space opened up for him. It was a good run. I think it might have been from Hatate just to clear the space. Tenecti coming on from the left in the inside, just couldn't get his foot properly round the ball and knocks it about 3 or 4 yards wide of the post, but the space was there for him to exploit.
Long ball by McCracken, a header from Donovan as it breaks into the centre circle. It's picked up by Kmetio. It's not a great ball out to Sams on the left. Celtic have it back. Donovan's cushion header into the midfield. It's picked up by Luke McCowan in the Dundee half. Squares it out to Tierney on the left hand side. Tenecti ahead of him. Tenecti facing away from goal, rolls it back onto the halfway line for Scales. Switches it to the right of the circle here for Trusty.
Yeah, those changes that Stephen Presley has made. He's gone with the back 5. He's got a 3 in the middle of the pitch, and now he's almost gone with 2 up front. Wesley's pushed on up alongside Hay. 2 targets.
Dundee have it deep inside their own half here, and it's played out to the left for Samuels, up the line there to Wesley, and then gets it back from Finn Robertson, driving forward, going down, free kick to Dundee, over on the far side as they try and cause 1 or 2 issues for the Celtic defence and for Kasper Schmeichel. There's not been too many of those. Simon Murray did hit the bar towards the end of the first half in the same phase of play. Congreve tested Schmeichel with a deflected effort. As long as they're just 1 behind, there's always that chance.
Yeah, and this is a free kick for them. It almost allows them to push. You know, Kmetty is on the pitch, and he's a big, tall centre half. He's gone up alongside the other centre halves.
In comes the Dundee free kick to float it into the box. It's too high for everyone. It breaks out to this near side. Engels will shepherd it behind despite the best efforts of Luke Graham. Yeah. And out it goes for a Celtic throw in deep inside their own half. They lead 1-0. We played 65.
Yeah, it wasn't a good free kick. You know, it's not put into an area for centre halves to go and attack properly. It was hit away to the back post, and you lose your momentum then, and gives it's an opportunity gone for Dundee.
Tierney with the throw in forward, and Tati went down there. The challenge was Finn Robertson's, but the referee was happy enough with it as Wesley picks up on the near side. It somehow, off a Celtic boot, breaks back to Astley. Now midway inside the Celtic half, taking it for a run is Hamilton. Moves it out to the left and then back into the centre circle for Koumetio. And then find on the halfway line Luke Graham. It's a long ball, it's not the worst either. Hay with a poor touch. He was in behind Scales there as well.
Yeah, it was a good ball. Lovely little clip over the top, and Hayes got that little bit of pace. We talked about it, maybe not having the stature that Simon Murray has, but he's got the pace, and it was a decent run, just failed to get it control, and the ball went away for a goal kick.
Remember, you can keep up to date with the scores at any time at the website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. But here it is: Celtic 1, Dundee 0, Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1, Dundee United 2, Rangers 1, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0, and Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0. And Danny Rule staring at a domestic defeat. The first time as Rangers manager, having dropped points at home to Falkirk at the weekend. Hearts with that 1-0 lead thanks to Shankland's early second half goal. That could be a huge one for them after a relatively poor run. It is Hatate for Celtic, now with Engels, out to the right hand side. Donovan, level with the Dundee penalty spot, whips it across the face of the goal. No takers in green and white. Tenecti keeps it in play though, does well. First time ball back to Tierney, to Hatate. Hatate then rolls it left for Tenecti. Level with the penalty spot, drops the shoulder not once but twice, but is it pinched off him there by Hamilton? He goes long, looking for Hay. Hay looking to get away from Scales, almost tripped him. Hayes in the box here, chance for Dundee. It's a weak enough effort, which is saved by Schmeichel's right boot. But he would have loved to have got more power in the shot there. And Liam Scales, he's been a little bit off it tonight, gets away with another one. He misjudged the long ball, but it stays on 67.5, a quarter of this to go. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, he's asking Schmeichel too, could you come and help me? The ball's played, a long ball over the top. You know, obviously you've got the pace of Hay up against Scales. He's just got a yard on him. Scales couldn't really do anything, but he's asking his goalkeeper, could you be out a little bit further just to intercept that ball?
Long throw in for Dundee. Ashley pulls it into the box. It's headed half clear, then nodded towards the 6-yard line where Celtic clear their lines. Now Maida's onto it. He's done brilliantly to hold off Finn Robertson. 3-on-3. Maida driving forward. Dundee getting another couple back now. It's a really good challenge by Ethan Hamilton to stop Maida driving forward. He had options right and left. Took too long, and Dundee get away with that, and then it's booted into the main stand by Tierney, and it will be a throw into Dundee on this near side, midway inside the Celtic half. But that will give Dundee encouragement.
Yeah, you see their intention, Liam. You know, they're now, they have the two up front. Obviously Wesley's a little bit deeper, but as Hayes is playing on the last man, and their intent is to play those little long balls either over the top or down the sides of the centre half, hoping that they might. So it's really important for Celtic that they go and put pressure on the player on the ball. There's another long ball again over the top.
Hay chasing again. This time Schmeichel comes out of his box, gets there first and clears. Not great though. Straight to Finn Robertson. Schmeichel's away off his line, and the long effort from Finn Robertson doesn't come close to hurting Kasper Schmeichel. But I think everyone had Kenny McLean on their minds there, with Kasper Schmeichel off his line and out of his box when it dropped to Finn Robertson.
Well, when you come off your line, he's done well initially, because that was compared to the last ball over the top, he's come readied, but play it to safety. Don't try to be smart and play a ball into an area where you know that you're out of position, and that. So he's got away with it.
There's been another goal at Pittodrie. Willie Miller.
Yeah, Liam, there's been an equaliser. It's Aberdeen. Dante Polvara gets not a thing of beauty. It's a corner from the left-hand side. There's a bit of a stramash. Well, here's another opportunity. Aberdeen really piling the pressure on, and it falls to Polvara, who manages to burrow and get the shot from close range, maybe 6 yards out, ends up in the back of the net. 1-1 here at Pittodrie.
Dante Polvara, who's been linked with a move to Hibs. Actually, he's out of contract at the end of the season. Talks ongoing at Pittodrie. The American to stay there, we shall see, but he's drawn Aberdeen level against St Mirren, so 1-1 in that one. And then McCracken's well outside his box here, and he uses his hands to pick it up with the referee. No, he's blown a free kick for Dundee. Now, just wonder if Maida wins the ball off McCracken and drives in on to the empty goal, whether the ref lets that continue. It's almost as if he thought, well, McCracken's going to pick the ball up, I'm going to have to send him off now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's got away with it, because I didn't think there was a real foul in that at all. It was body coming to body, but McCracken's sort of gone to ground, and then he does handle it well about 5 yards outside his box. But so the referee has taken the pressure right off him by giving him the free kick, rather than the other way around. And if he didn't give the free kick to Maeda for the handball, then McCracken was walking.
I mean, the referee, Duncan Nicholson, it seemed to me he wasn't going to give a free kick until McCracken touched it with his gloves.
Yeah, I'd look that way to me.
Made his mind up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Liam.
There's a chance for Celtic. It's Engels driving down the right, but it's gone straight to Cometio, and now there's been another goal at Pittodrie for Willie Miller.
It's another goal for the home side. It's Lazatic that gets the final touch. Carlson, a wicked strike from outside the box. Goalkeeper George doesn't deal with it, comes off his chest, and there is the striker who come on as a substitute to put in at the back of the net. Aberdeen have turned this game round, 2-1 for the Dons.
2-1 Aberdeen then, as Hatate picks up just a couple of goals in a couple of minutes for the hosts at Pittodrie. More problems for St Mirren as Donovan picks up for Celtic and finds McCowan on the far side. 18 minutes left here.
And this
Celtic
game is not over, Liam. This game is not done by any means.
Just about to say. Dundee have started flexing their muscles here, Packy.
Yeah,
since the changes, they've had a good effect on them.
Yeah, and the change in Hagan up front has really caused problems with his pacers, and their ball played down the side of Scales. And you can see the intent absolutely has been coming now for the last sort of 5-10 minutes. Those long balls, and they're good long balls, are not just kicked up into the air, and it's creating problems for Celtic, similar to what happened at Dens Park, I believe.
Yeah, well, I was doing that game, and Dundee were well worth their victory on the day. Celtic, though, crucially up to this point, have a 1-0 lead given to them by Daisen Maeda in the first half. And it's Celtic on the ball here with Scales. Now with Hatate. Hatate then out to Tierney, wide on the left. To Tinekti on the touchline, level with the 18-yard line. Steps in field and rolls it back to Callum McGregor. McGregor then squares it to Donovan. 17 left on the clock of normal time. It's Tierney to Tinekti, level with the penalty spot. Back it comes to Kieran Tierney. Tierney attacking the left angle of the box. A long, deep cross, looking for McCowan. It's flicked away there by Samuels, and out for a throw-in on the far side as Dundee prepared to bring Yogan on, and he is going to come on for Joe Wesley.
Yeah, he normally is he a full-back normally?
Well, he can play wide.
I think what they were doing was really, really good, with Wesley kind of almost playing off.
I mean, Yogan's a winger, but he can also play central midfield.
Right, okay.
So he can play the wide position.
So he just maybe has fresh legs and replacement straight, so he'll play in that sort of kind of just dropped off centre forward position. You could call it a number 10.
It is Liam Scales on the ball here for Celtic. There's apparently been a contentious moment at Tannadice. Remember, Dundee United leading Rangers by 2-1. Alan Preston.
Yeah, it's a potential penalty. It's not been given, Liam. It's incredible. It's a long throw-in, and it hits Fernandez clear on the hand. Similar to the one with Scales, it just drops over. He doesn't see it, but it hits him clearly on the hand. Quickly checked, not given here at Tannadice. Still Dundee United lead 2-1.
Here comes Celtic at the edge of the Dundee box with Engels. Manages to shuffle it to McGregor. Back to Tierney. Square ball. There finds Trusty. Trusty over onto the right-hand side where the cross comes in from Donovan. Headed half-away chance on the rebound. Engels killed it, and then McCowan it was, in fact, killed it. And his efforts deflected behind for the corner to Celtic as they look for the second goal with 15 minutes of the 90 to play.
Yeah, that's the second good ball in from Colby Donovan from that sort of right-hand side. You would be desperate for maybe a second striker to be in there. I think Tinekti is the one that should be getting into that space. We've seen Maeda at times getting in round in between the centre half and the full-back, but he stays a little bit wider, Tinekti, and the chances are gone.
There's Callum McGregor for Celtic on the right. A chance now for McCowan down the line. McCowan then in field to Engels, squares it to Tierney, left central position, bends the ball into the box, cleared there by Kimetio, comes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. Martin O'Neill stands hands in pockets at the edge of his technical area, the final stages of his interim spell as manager and his Celtic story. Unless, of course, there's room for him in another role here, which he hasn't ruled out. But anyway, it's not for tonight. Hatate's ball cut out, but it's going to break back to Donovan wide on the right-hand side, the right angle of the Dundee box. Finds McCowan, pulls it back to McGregor, looks up to chip ball, and it's a good ball as well, but it's headed half away. Breaks to Tinekti, left angle of the penalty area. Reverses it with the right foot down the left-hand side of the box for Tierney. Up against Finn Robertson. Forced back the way slightly, plays it into a left central position for Engels, and out to Donovan, out to the right touchline for McCowan. Trying to take on Samuels, he does well to win it back for Dundee. It stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0. Dundee still in this. How they'd love a point to take back up the road tonight. It's played infield for Ethan Hamilton, across the halfway line. Brilliant challenge by Maida, outstanding from the striker. That's what he is all about. It's his goal that is Celtic in front here. The fans urging the team forward. I think they would have hoped that would have been able to spend the closing stages of this match paying tribute to their interim manager and not have to sweat it out.
No, and you're absolutely right, but that was really good from me. They just seen that they were under pressure. I think it was McCowan that sort of went to ground, didn't get a free kick, and the space opened up in midfield for Dundee to go and penetrate, and he just raced back from centre forward position and put the tackle in to really good defending.
Celtic have it wide on the left here. It is Tinekti, level with the penalty spot of Dundee, to the left angle of the area here for Tierney. His ball forward cut out by Robertson, breaks to Tinekti, sweeps the ball into the area toward the penalty spot where it is booted clear by Luke Graham. Picked up by Trusty, just stepping away from his man, and then into the centre circle, scales to Tierney, and Tierney at walking pace. They've just not really been in a position to put this game to bed in the second half, Celtic, have they?
They have not. I think they had one big chance that the goalkeeper saved from Hatate, but I don't think they've penetrated the way they've normally, or the way they were doing in the first half. It's all very extra pass, and nothing's really coming off, and you can see that Dundee have changed their tactics a little bit to be more direct with the pace of Hay up front, and they are a threat.
Right, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0 last we heard. Ian McCall, you got a goal for us yet?
No, and I've got no contentious moments either, Liam, unfortunately. But I'll tell you one thing that's interesting, that John McGinn, after an hour, I was wondering why his front four were working so unbelievably hard to press the ball. Well, they took all four of them off. You know, and he brought on four players, Wilson, Ross, Williams and Calvin Miller, of a totally different profile, smaller, most of them were quicker, maybe better football players. He's going to try and win the game. As I said, Motherwell started the second half well, but for about 10 minutes, and since then it's really been Falkirk in the ascendancy without making any great clear-cut chances. We're hoping for a goal, but still 0-0.
Dundee clearing on their 6-yard line through Kimetio. It's now Engels looking for McCowan at the edge of the Dundee box. Can't find him though. Just can't find a way through to get that second goal, and there's going to be a triple change coming up for Celtic. Nygren, Ralston and Bernardo are all coming on. They're going to get a free kick, I think. Dundee over on the far side, felled by Luke McCowan. So Celtic kind of labouring their way towards the 3 points here. Brian McLaughlin watching Hearts taking on Kilmarnock, the league leaders, with a lead. But are they in cruise control, or is it similar to what we're seeing here in Glasgow, Brian?
Very similar, Liam. Some real positive changes made in the second half by Stuart Kettlewell, Tiffany, Anderson, Watson, Dackers all on the pitch, and Dackers so close to an equaliser. A cross in from the right-hand side by Kilty. Dackers with the head, with it beat Schwaller, but came back off the underside of the bar and then cleared away by the Hearts defence. Still leading though by 1-0 as a shot comes in from Claudio Braga. Lauren Shankland on target 4 minutes into the second half. Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 0 with 5.5 minutes left to play.
The top two, 1-0 up at home, and listen, it's 3 points at the end of the day if it stays that way. The changes for Celtic see Donovan McCowan and Hatate all come off. And as I said, Bernardo, Nygren and Ralston are all on.
Yeah, just straightforward. Ralston replacing Donovan in that right back position. Nygren going out on the right hand side. And who was the other one? Bernardo in the middle of the pitch.
Dundee free kick. McCracken, the goalkeeper, takes. He's come all the way to the midway point of his own half, launches it forward towards the edge of the box, and then there's an offside flag. And there's a Celtic player down. It's Kieran Tierney. He's getting himself back to his feet. We've got, 81 minutes on the clock now. And there's been another goal at Pittodrie, Willie Miller.
Yes, equaliser for St Mirren. It's just a long ball down the middle. Jack Milne doesn't deal with it well. Ayunga gets onto it. Nicky Devlin comes out, tries to block him. He just rattles it with his left foot. Goes through Mitov's leg. Goalkeeper should have done better in my book. It goes right through his legs, ends up in the back of the net. 2-2 here at Pittodrie.
2 apiece at Pittodrie. Here it is 1-0 Celtic still as the clock ticks down. It's Callum McGregor for Celtic, right of the centre circle, finds Bernardo. He'll then turn it to Scales. Scales, short ball there to Callum McGregor.
The one criticism I have of Celtic today is that in that midfield area, they've passed the ball quite well, but they've not penetrated. When they had the opportunity at times, maybe just somebody to drive forward the ball or play a pass in between the lines, open up and then drive forward again. And it's all been very simple, nice pass and keeping the ball, which is fine, but Dundee have been comfortable in there.
Celtic have it with Tenecti wide on the left, taking Andre Wright. Does well, he's got himself into the box to the byline, Tenecti across, and it bobbles in the 6-yard line. Dundee managed to smuggle it away. Well, it looked like they were going to be in there. Celtic, as Yogan comes forward, the legs taken from him by McGregor, and that's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Celtic captain as well.
Yeah, it was a foul, obviously. I didn't know if it was a yellow card because I don't think he actually meant to. It wasn't a professional foul. It was more that the player just got in front of him. But anyway, it's in the book. It's another opportunity for Dundee, and again pushing the big guys forward. At this stage of the game, anything can happen. 8 minutes to go in normal time.
Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland, on FM, on Sounds at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. There's been yet another goal at Pittodrie for Willie Miller.
I can't believe my eyes here. I'm seeing a goal rush, and it goes to Aberdeen in the 84th minute. Stuart Armstrong, brilliant down the left-hand side, curls one in for Lazetic, who's come on as a substitute and just set this place on fire. Gets a little touch, ends up in the back of the net. 3-2 to Aberdeen.
Meanwhile, here at Celtic Park, Ethan Hamilton has just hit a pile driver, which Schmeichel has held on to comfortably. It meant I didn't have to cut across Willie. It's a decent effort. It's another reminder for Celtic that this game is still not in the ledger as 3 points yet.
No, definitely not. And he just turned and struck it. Now it was straight at Schmeichel, but it was a good strike, a lot of pace on it from about maybe 23 yards out or so.
So as we were hearing from Willie Miller there, Marko Lazetic with the second of the game. It's his 4th Aberdeen goal. 3 of them have come against St Mirren. The team will be sick of the sight of him. There's Kieran Tierney for Celtic, midway inside the Dundee half, back facing his own goal now though. Down he goes, free kick given.
Yeah, listen, he did really well initially, just a little feint and went past. I'm trying to see which player that he actually went past. Was Finlay Robertson, I think, and then but he just didn't have the pace to get away from him, and ended up having to turn back, and then he was fouled. But that lack of penetration in the second half, I think, is fairly evident from Celtic's perspective.
This is kind of more what it was like in the kind of dying days of Rodgers.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't think I think the confidence is higher than it is at that point in time. And listen, if they won the game, is another mark for Martin O'Neill. What'll that be, 7 out of 8, is it?
Yeah, look, it doesn't matter. It's 3 points, and nobody's going to remember this match when you look back at this season in future years. You're not going to remember that cold early December Wednesday night at Celtic Park when Celtic beat Dundee 1-0. The Celtic fans won't care as long as it's 3 points. They'd love to rack the goals up because Hearts are ahead of them a goal difference. In fact, just speaking of which, goal at Tynecastle, Brian McLaughlin.
In the 90th minute, the scoreline now reads Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 1. And I told you about the substitutes, Liam, and it's one of those who's equalised. Bruce Anderson on target, a shot from just outside the box. The ball was saved by Schwolow, but they spilled it inside the 6-yard box, and Anderson was on rushing in to fire the ball into the back of the empty net. We're going to have 4 minutes of additional time here, and it's now Harvard Lothian 1, Kilmarnock 1.
Oh, we could hear the murmurs inside the stadium here. The Celtic supporters know that Hearts are on the cusp of dropping another couple of points, and as things stand, Celtic would go level with Hearts at the top of the Premiership. Still behind them on goal difference, but they would be level on 32 points before Derry McInnes makes the journey along the M8 to come here on Sunday afternoon. Celtic 1, Dundee 0, 86 and a half on the clock here, but Kilmarnock have equalised at Tynecastle, Pat Bonner.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it just sets it up for the weekend. And you know, again, from Martin O'Neill's perspective, you know, you couldn't have a better day if they won this game and Hearts end up drawing, and to go level at the top of the table with a game in hand.
Apparently they're looking at an offside potentially for that Kilmarnock goal. So we'll bring you news of that as soon as we get it. Dundee have got a free kick meantime, level with the Celtic 6-yard line. It was a good run down that left-hand side by Hay, who was upended, and Dundee have a free kick in a really good position here. It's wide, but it's a chance to load the box and get this in on top of Kasper Schmeichel.
What would you bet on it, Liam? What would you bet on it that goal's overturned and the last goal's being given? Okay, that's changed. That's changed what I was about to say. But listen, it was a great run from Hay again, down beyond Trusty, and Trusty just awkward taking him down. You don't want it to give away a free kick in that position right at the end of this game.
Dundee looking for a sensational equaliser here. Just as Celtic have come close to completely wiping out that 8-point lead Hearts had. Celtic still with the game in hand after tonight, in virtue of their deep run in the League Cup. But they've got to defend this Dundee free kick. This is giving the D supporters all kinds of hope and belief off to our right. An opportunity comes via this free kick, which will be whipped in right-footed into the 6-yard box, and it's whipped away. Brilliant header away. It comes out to this near side for Tenecti. He's on his bike now. That came into exactly the area Dundee wanted it to go to, as Tenecti decides to pass the ball back and gets all kinds of verbals from the Celtic supporters. That long ball comes all the way through. McCracken's onto the edge of his box and smashes it clear. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
I've got to go
90th minute here.
I've got to go back to that header from Liam Scales. He was running back towards his own goal, had to twist his neck and get up above everybody and just deflect it away to safety. Really, really good defensive header under pressure, but it was a really good ball right into that sort of almost 5 yards out from goal. Goalkeeper stays in his line and the pressure was right on him.
It's now back with Astley for Dundee, pushes it into the centre circle for Finn Robertson. Out to this near side, it's all over at the Falkirk Stadium. It's finished goalless between Falkirk and Motherwell. Back-to-back goalless draws for Jens Bertalascu. Straight right is fouled by Tenecti.
Sorry, foul to give away.
Yeah, it's midway inside the Dundee half. There's quite a lot of Celtic supporters appear to have departed. I'm quite surprised about that. I would have thought Martin O'Neill would have got everyone staying to the end, and particularly, perhaps more important than that, immediately is the fact that this game still, it's not quite in a knife edge, but Dundee are still in with a shout here as we approach the stoppage time. Long Dundee free kick from McCracken to the edge of the Celtic box is headed clear. 3 minutes have been added. We're into the first of them. It is Bernardo back to McGregor, then Bernardo goes long. I think Nygren's offside, and even if he's going to get onto that long ball, indeed there is the flag. Well, I spotted it.
Yeah, he was just a yard
he's been booked as well for getting embroiled with John McCracken.
Yeah, actually a free kick should be on the halfway line, because he was just about half a yard over the halfway line. I think that's what the crowd thought he might have been onside.
Well, Celtic just about there. I will tell you when the full-time whistle at Tynecastle's gone. Closing stages of that on 8 on medium wave and on extra with BBC Radio Scotland and with Sports Sound. There's been plenty of drama to enjoy this evening.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He certainly wasn't offside for the position where the goalkeeper has the ball now, but here comes a free kick.
McCracken takes. We've played one of the additional 3 minutes. Headed away by Celtic, breaks out to that left-hand side for Yogan. Plenty in dark blue in the middle, and comes the cross. The header, it goes well wide. Calmest man in Celtic Park there was Kasper Schmeichel. He had his arms away to his sides there as Luke Graham headed towards goal, but he puts it well past in the end, and it stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, it's just again, it's just nerve-wracking for the Celtic fans inside here, because he did get the first touch on it, just couldn't get a direct header on target. Obviously Celtic gets the goal kick, and they're hoping that there's probably still another minute and a half to go in this game.
There certainly is, and the only game finished, Falkirk 0, Motherwell 0. As Schmeichel hits it long. Let's get a quick update from Tannadice. Remember, Rangers losing to Dundee United. Alan Preston.
Well, Rangers are piling on the pressure, but we were into the 6th of added minutes. They want a penalty, and it's been given. There's a penalty kick going to Rangers in the 96th minute. The Dundee United lead 2-1. Chermiti has missed a real easy chance from the middle of the 6-yard box with a header. But that one there, the ball's just played to the back post. I think it's Stevenson has caught the Rangers player. The referee points to the spot at Tannadice here. Chance for Rangers to equalise.
Well, we'll get back to Alan in just a moment. As this game plays itself out, just about 30 seconds left. Have Dundee got one last chance left? It's finished 1-1 at Tynecastle. All over. Hearts 1, Kilmarnock 1. Celtic are going to go level on points at the top as Nygren slips through to Maida. Maida can finish the Martin O'Neill here, and a flourish here, but he's hit the post. Maida slashed at it with the left foot, comes off the outside of the post, and it goes behind for the goal kick. But that should be just about time up. It stays Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
Yeah, listen, it was a great ball. Played him through his pace.
That's it. It's all over here. And the Celtic supporters roar for 3 reasons. 1, they've won the game. 2, they've gone level on points at the top of the Premiership. But 3, Martin O'Neill, who came in 4 or 5 weeks ago after the bitter end of the Brendan Rodgers era, and he is more than steady the ship. A Dyson Maida goal was enough tonight to beat Dundee, as the Wilfred Nancy era gets underway tomorrow. But O'Neill finishes with 3 points, 7 wins out of 8, and when you consider they were 8 points adrift of Hearts when he took over, with a League Cup semi-final against Rangers to play as well as tough-looking Europa League fixtures. He's wiped out the lead. They now are level on points for Hearts at the top of the Premiership with a game in hand, and with Hearts to come here on Sunday. League Cup final to look forward to, and they're up into their eyeballs in the Europa League again thanks to that victory over Feyenoord 6 nights ago. O'Neill was already a legend here. 7 major honours, 291 games in charge, with 8 of them coming when he least expected it at the age of 73. And the man who famously said on the steps of Celtic Park when he took the reins the first time, he was going to do everything he could to bring success to this football club. He did that plenty in 5 years. And whilst it's not as seismic on this occasion, he has rebuilt the foundations ahead of the Nancy era getting underway. And Celtic Park will now pay tribute to one of their very best, the man with the best winning percentage in Celtic managerial history. Martin O'Neill will now take the acclaim of the Celtic supporters after yet another victory that he has chalked up. And for the last time, it finishes here. Celtic 1, Dundee 0.